Hey, what's up? This is Matt's MTG Marketplace, and we're looking at the rest of these vintage commons that I had received in a trade. So if you watched the previous video or the short, just kind of introducing this series, a guy a couple states over wanted modern commons. I traded him 1-to-1 modern common for vintage common. So he had a bunch from Onslaught and Odyssey and Legions, some 7th ed, some 8th ed. Just really a smorgasbord of vintage commons. So we're going to keep going through these for fun, not really hunting for money, and just getting a nice blast of nostalgia, while also looking for maybe some Pauper staples. That's my main format. Commander, I'll do some pre-cons with, but Pauper is where I really like to brew decks and play around. So we're just going to kind of go through these. Looks like we got a play set and a half. Sacrifice a creature and get +2/+2. All right. Severed Legions, Fear. Fear is a pretty fun ability. You could do some nice little janky Pauper stuff with Fear, especially with artifacts being as heavy they are, when specifically with like affinity in Pauper. So depending on your play group, Fear could be a great ability to have. And you can sack a creature when this comes in to get a 2/2. Might be a good thing, like if you do a Fourth Bridge Prowler, who he's a 1-mana 1/1. You put him in, and he will put a -1/-1 on an opponent creature till the end of turn. And then next turn, put this guy out. You could sack him, put a 2/2, and then if you're able to play a second swap turn 2, you could do a Bone Picker for that 1 mana, because Bone Picker is a 3/3 flying with Death Touch. And basically, if a creature died that turn, any creature died the current turn, you can play 1 because it's 3 cheaper. So by turn 2, you could put out a Cursed Centaur and a Bone Picker. Be interesting. Fallen Cleric, protection from clerics. Not really going to do much in the current meta. Haunted Cadaver. Deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it, and if you do, they discard 3 cards from their hand. Yeah, the one thing with discards currently in the Pauper meta is you have things like Tellurian Terror, and Gurmag Angler kind of still sees some play. It's not as prevalent with Tellurian Terror coming out. So sometimes, yeah, making them discard isn't the greatest thing. So, and that mana cost for that. The morph cost is alright though. Vitality Charm. Got 2 of these. There was some in the other stack over here. I got it stacked up over there. But you can put a green insect into play with a 1/1. You can get a +1/+1 and trample to end the turn, or you can generate a target beast for 1 green mana at instant speed. Invigorating Falls. It's a fun card. I think so far we pulled about 5 of them. Gravedigger. Restorer. Can untap some lands. Oh, there you go. There's another Invigorating. More Haunted Cadavers. Screeching Buzzard. Put into a graveyard from play. Each opponent discards a card from his or her hand. Alright. 4 mana for a flying 2/2. Cruel Revival. Destroy target non-zombie creature. It can't be regenerated. Return up to 1 zombie creature from your graveyard to your hand. For 5 mana, you get 1 creature out your graveyard and you destroy 1 other creature. Well, non-zombie. Festering Goblin. I have a lot of friends who have retro zombie decks here in Malaysia, and vintage cards are hard to find. especially if they're just like low value ones. The people that have them or post that they got them for trade. So a lot of them really want older artwork of these zombie cards. So cool to get. A little tradable. Profane Prayers. Deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life, where X is the number of clerics in play. Again, probably gonna do something. Ooh, Shepherd of Rot. I love this. That is a fun one. Hopefully got some more in here. More for 3/1. Disciple of Malice, protection from white. You could sideboard it. Also get cycling. All creatures gain fear. Again, could be playable. And when you cycle, you get a draw card, and you still get one creature to have fear until the end of turn. So there's some playability here. SWAT with cycling. Whenever a creature comes into play, you lose 1 life. That's the payoff because you're getting a 3/3 out for only 2. Which, honestly, you might be able to do something with this against a mono blue terror deck in Pauper. It just really depends on how often they're going to be putting out like an affinity, or how quick they can stack up their graveyard with instants and sorceries. So the fact that they're not a creature heavy meta, you might be able to do something with that. Not likely though. Misery Charm. Destroy target cleric, return target cleric card from your graveyard to your hand, or target player loses 2 life. So maybe a black burn deck. Siphon Soul, that's got some reprints. Deals damage to each other player, you gain life equal to that. Sorcery Speed. Looks like 2 play sets right there. Spitting Gorna. Main block is so it's got reach. Okay. High mana cost. Power and toughness lower than the mana cost. Not that great. Comes into play, you get to put 2 1/1 green insect creature tokens into play. Okay, so token creation there. There's some more of those vitality charms with the +1/+1 trample, 1/1 insect creature, or regenerating target beast. Got 3 more of those. Tracer comes into play. You may put a target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. So emptying out their library, which isn't bad in the current meta. So if you want to make an insect tribal deck, put a land card from your hand into play. So get an extra land out. Got, let's see, playset and a half. You've seen them in the other stacks over there. Wormfang Newt. When Wormfang Newt comes into play, remove a land you control from the game. When Wormfang Newt leaves play, return the removed card to play under its owner's control. Interesting. So, man, if only it was 1 mana, because then you could do some funky stuff with some ninjas. 2 mana? I don't know. When even Fogbringer comes into play, return target land to its owner's hand. So you can bounce a land back. And it's a 1 blue and 3, 2/1 flying. Zombie Assassin. You get to remove 2 cards from a graveyard. And the zombie from play, and then you also get to destroy a non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. Ooh, but that's a high cost right there. Gotta put 5 mana for a 3/2 that you're gonna tap and remove, plus empty your graveyard, and you're just gonna get to destroy a creature. I mean, you might as well play a Chainer's Edict, Cruel Edict, a whole bunch of different stuff. Better than that. That's non-English. Ghastly Demise. Sorry, I almost said Ostracize. Yeah, 1, you can destroy a non-black creature if it's less than or equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. So that's already better. And if I'm not mistaken, it was instant speed. Yep. Dusk Imp, 2/1 for 3 flying. Whispering Shade, you can get it +1/+1 for tapping a black. 4 mana for a 1/1 with Swamp Walk. I've been considering making a Swamp Walk Pauper deck. I probably ain't gonna win any events, but it'd be fun. Crypt Creeper and a Blazing Salvo. Oops. Deal 3 damage to target creature unless that creature's controller has Blazing Salvo. Deal 5 damage to him or her. Yep. 1 mana for 3 or 5. Not bad. Okay, so that was 1 stack. Let's do a second, shall we? And the challenge is always finding out where it begins. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, have you guys seen anything that's interesting in these cards that you're like, oh man, I would put that in this Pauper deck, or oh, I'd put that in my Commander deck, or any of you Legacy format players. Let me know as we're going through it if you saw something earlier that is interesting to you, because I'm always trying to learn how these cards would be playable. A lot of them are new to me. Again, I started playing when Zendikar was the standard rotation, and so going back, I'm really familiar with the vintage cards in the Pauper metas that I play, and that's about it as far as a lot of these old commons go. So there's a ton that I don't know. So as I'm looking at them, these may be the first time I've seen it along with you, or you may be going, dude, this guy doesn't know anything about vintage cards, and you know, you're pretty right. So this is a learning experience for me. So yeah, let me know. Comes into play, you get to draw a card for a 1/1. Hundrug, cycling 3, 7 for a 4/7. Nantuku Vigilante, you can morph it for 2, and when it's turn face up, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Interesting. Centaur Veteran, looks like we got a 4/1 there. I don't know if that's simplified or traditional, but it's got Trample. Discard a card from your hand, you can regenerate it. Again, some more untappies with Croissant Restorer. Another Merchant of Secrets. Glintwing Invoker. Gets +3/+3 against flying land a turn for 8 mana. Woo! Interesting. Echo Tracer, again another morph, and when it's turned face up, you can turn target creature to its owner's hand. Yeah, not worth it, at least in the builds that I have where you want to do a lot of returning to hand stuff, like in my Ninfei and 0 Hour deck, which shout out to Propaganda, because I do love that very fast ninja deck. Covert Operative is unblockable. A lot of high cost unblockables back then. Kenai Aven, flying, cycling 2. And it's for 4 for a 2/3. White Mage Apprentice, you can morph it out. And when it's turned face up, you can counter target spell. So for 4 and then for 3, you can get a counter spell and a 1/1 out. So maybe it needs to fill the Pauper Commander deck. Path Mage, it's unblockable, and you can sacrifice it, and target creature is unblockable this turn. And you just get a nice little 1/1 wizard out, which I have been really wanting to build a Pauper wizard tribal deck just for fun. Okay, looks like we're getting into some 8th ed. Eager deck, Glory Seeker, Train, Glory, Grizzly Bears. Those are always fun. Eager Cadet, get ready to see some Grizzly Bears and Dominaria Remastered. Dredge Skeletons, fun. Oh, there's 7th. We're moving into 7th. You can lose 3 life, put that one out. Bog Imp, Spineless Thug, Saber-Toothed Tiger. Some first strike going. Digging Team, destroy a target wall. Flight, get some flying. Trained, Howl from Beyond. Can be a fun card. Played it a few times. Bog Imp, Razor-Toothed Rats. Basically has Fear. Hill Giant, Serpent Warrior, Granite Trap, or Grip. Oop, I read that wrong. Spineless Thug, going back to 8th and back into 7th. +1/+0 to end a turn, it can't block. 2 for 1. More Gravediggers. Regeneration. Raging Goblin. Goblins are fun. Skate Zombies, Spineless Thug, Goblin Raider, Spineless Thug, Hill Giant, let's go. Healing Salve. All right. 2 more to go. Let's just go through these. Oh, Onslaught on the front, Odyssey on the front. Whoa. Okay, I'll just do this one. Yeah, so how many of y'all play Pauper? That's what I want to know. Pauper is pretty small here. I mean, in Asia, there's some pretty big communities that play Pauper. Like in the Philippines, they have big tournaments. Japan, especially at like Haruya, they have Pauper tourneys almost every day. So I would really like to see that grow in Malaysia. So hey, all you Malaysian peeps out there, hit me up. Let's play some Pauper. All right. Can prevent all combat damage would be dealt this turn. Oh, that's fun. Crown of Vigor. +1/+1, you can sacrifice it, and if they share the same creature type, you get +1/+1 to all those creatures. Got a play set. Cool. Battering Craghorn, first strike, you can morph it out. Goblin Sky Raider. Fever Charm. And this one you can give haste, or you can give a creature +2/+0, or it can deal 3 damage to a target wizard. Probably not going to use that last one very much. I mean, unless you play the tribal deck I build. A flying, 5 for a 3/2. Gem Palm Polluter. And when you cycle it, you can have a target player lose 1 life for each zombie in play. Again, good card if you're running a retro zombie deck. Morph it out. Return all zombie cards from your graveyard to your hand. I bet it can go for the opponent, but not many people in my groups play zombie. Just one guy has a Pauper zombie deck. Goblin Turncoat. Barbarian Lunatic. Alright. Bardic Swordsmith. You can get them +2/+0 to end a turn by discarding a random card. Random could be scary. Halberdier, first strike, 3/1 for 4. You can, for 1 mana, once you put them out, you can give a 2/2 to another creature by tapping it and paying. Yeah, you can make some of your ninjas unblockable. Misformed Dreamer. image crafter. Basically, you can change things, you just can't pick a legend or a wall. Backslide. Basically, you can put their creature face down, so if it's better being unmorphed, you can put it back. Just make sure you don't morph something that also has a good turn up ability. That would be not good. And not turn up as in the vegetable. Sage Haven. Trickery Charm. So you can change the type of the creature. You can look at the top 4 cards of your library and then put them back into any order. It reminds me of the card Spy Network. But Spy Network is nice because if you're familiar with that card, it's also 1 mana. But you get to look at the opponent's hand. You get to look at the top card of the library. You get to look at the then you get to look at the top 4 cards of your own library and then put them in any order. I mean, that's nuts. 1 mana, 1 blue mana, and you can do all that. Fantastic. When it comes into play, you may search your library for a card named Screaming Seahawk, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. So, much more expensive, not as playable Squadron Hawk. Choking Tethers. Tap up to 4 target creatures for 4. So basically for each mana you get to tap 1. Or you can cycle it, get a draw, and tap. So for 2 you can draw and tap a creature. Also not bad. Instant speed. It's always fun. Enchanted Land is an island. Like that. Really, I screwed some people up when I had built a janky deck where I was just trying to go. Honestly, I really didn't have a vision for the deck. I saw like Sea Claimed and an enchantment card, and I just sort of built around it, and it was fun. Disruptive Pit Mage. You can counter a spell by tapping it unless the person plays 1. Put it out for 3, or you can morph it, pay 3 later. Looks like play set of that one. Daru Healer. Prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to a target creature or player this turn. You can morph it out for cheaper. United Strike. Remove target attacking creature from the game if its power is less than or equal to the number of soldiers in play. So you can phase it out. Cross an Avenger. You can trample and it gets regenerate if you have threshold, which we talked about that last time. It's if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. Okay. On to the last one. Doo-doo. I hate when that happens. Anyways, target creature gets +X till the end of turn, where X is 3 plus the number of Muscle Burst cards in your graveyard. So you get 3 and an X, so you put a playset in that can be pretty good. Oh no, there we go. I was sure there had to be a playset of those. Cartographer. It comes into play. You return target land card from your graveyard to your hand. Rogon. Amplify 1, and you can put 1/1 counter on it for each beast you reveal from your hand. Yeah, Amplify. I've seen that a few times. Never seen it played, but I've seen it. Search your library for a basic land card and put that card into play tapped. Then shuffle your library, and if it's in your graveyard, Muscle Burst effects is counted as... oh, interesting. So, put an extra card in, tap it, and then that Muscle Burst we saw in the front can get even more beefiness from Diligent Farmhand. Very cool. Target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Harvester Druid. Add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color that a land you control could produce. So it's a 2 for a 1/1 that can tap and add mana that your land already produces. Put 3 cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library, then Battlefield Scourger gets +3/+3 until the end of turn, and you can play this ability only once each turn. Okay. Put a 1 counter on target creature you controlled. Iron Shell Beetle. Looks like we got 1.75 playsets. Canopy Claws. Target creature loses flying until the end of turn. And you got a flashback for green on that one too. I didn't say that. When Centaur Rootcaster deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a basic land card and put that card into play tapped, and if you do, shuffle your library. Gravel Slinger. Deals 1 damage to attacking or blocking creature when you tap it. You can morph it out for cheaper, otherwise it costs 4 for a 1/3. Demystify. Destroy target enchantment. Glory Seeker. Gustcloak Harrier. Whenever Gustcloak Harrier becomes blocked, you may untap it and remove it from combat. Flying. So block a big creature and then get it out of there. Defensive Maneuvers. Creatures of the type of your choice get +0/+4 until the end of turn. Grassland Crusader. Target elf or soldier gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Very expensive to put out though. 6 mana. Dive Bomber. Flying. You can sack it, tap it, sack it, and deal 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Looked like a playset of that too, I mean. Dire Lancer. It's got a first strike. You can morph it out for 4. Otherwise it's just a 3/4 with first strike. Piety Charm. You can draw it and you can target an enchantment, or specifically an enchant creature, or you can target soldier, gets +2/+2, or attacking doesn't cause creatures you control to tap this turn. So you can give Vigilance to all your creatures, which that's pretty good for a 1 mana instant. Why not? Unified Strike. Remove. Oh, we saw that one. Prismatic Strands. Man, I just look at that artwork. That is so nice. And you can flash it back for just tapping a white creature you control, and it prevents all damage from a source that sources of a color of your choice would deal this turn. So you can basically negate mono decks pretty well, which, hey, that might be good for mono red. Lead Astray, tap 2 target creatures for 2 at instant speed. All right. Ain't bad, ain't bad. To his or her hand, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn by a source of your choice. So you can pick 1 source, you can tap, you have to give them back a card from their graveyard. But the benefit is you can basically get rid of a single source of damage coming to you or a creature. Is it worth it? You decide. Mage's Guile. Target creature can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn. Leaf Dancer. Primal Frenzy. Croissant Avenger. Elephant Ambush. Put a 3/3 green elephant creature token into play, and you can flashback. Rites of Spring. Discard any number of cards from your hand. Search your library for that many basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. For 4 mana, you get a 3/3, and again, you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, it gets +2/+2 more. And there's the Avenger again, coming out with Trample and the Threshold ability to regenerate for a green and 1. All right. So that everybody was all the cards from that trade. So there's the pile. That's the pile we just did today. And this is the pile that I did in a video earlier, plus just some offline. So not bad for a 1-to-1 trade of modern commons. I had probably 10 or more of a piece to get some vintage cards, which, you know, the playability, it's here or there. Got some decent ones in there that I was looking for, like Book Burning and Flaring Pain and Grip of Amnesia. So yeah, so it was really cool, and I'm glad that you could be along for the ride and check these out. If you're in Malaysia, you see some things that you're interested in, hit me up. I go to play Pauper different nights of the week, so maybe you want to trade for something, buy something, whatever. But otherwise, I will probably do a video of me just sorting and talking. Gonna try to get live streaming set up, and yeah. I'll see you all later. Bye.